Hey, it's Todd with Defense and Safety. I was going to do a knife review on I guess it's the newest knife that I have. This is the Zero Tolerance 0551. This is the Hinderer collaboration. And when this knife first came out, I was a little slow on pre-ordering, and I didn't get one. And I was kind of bummed. And then I kept watching the new knife arrivals on Blade HQ, and this one came up. So I threw it in the cart, ordered it, and then after my order went through, I went back to the site and it said out of stock. And I was like, oh, did they only have one in stock? Did I get it? Did somebody else? I emailed them. They responded the next day that they were shipping it to me, so I was really excited. Two things that I was kind of surprised about when I got it. One is the serial number is 1417, and I think most people are under the impression that this knife was limited to 1,000. It's been written about, and everybody thought that. I called Zero Tolerance and asked them about that, and I'll get to the other reason that I called them. And they said, oh, due to the high demand, they're producing more. And I said, so are you producing 2,000? They said, they don't know. So nobody knows how many there's going to be of this knife. And to me, that's a little bit of a letdown, because if a knife company says this is a limited edition and there's 1,000 of them, and then you buy one thinking you got one of 1,000, and now it's one of 2,000 or one of some number, this is a little disappointing, because there is going to be a production version of this that they're going to use a different steel. So I was a little disappointed. The other thing I was disappointed is the knife was dull. And if you watched my last video on the sharpness scale here, I'd put it down between sharp stick and dull. It was pretty disappointing. Now, of course, I since sent it to John over at J Davis 882, and this was one of the knives that he did for me, and he put a nice polished edge on there. If you can get that polished edge there, see that reflection, and it's freaking sharp. It's a joy to own. I'm happy now. So but other than that, now that the knife, other than the fact that it's not one of 1,000, and two, it's sharp now, I really, really like this knife. This is the first kind of bigger, chunkier liner lock. I mean, look at this liner lock on this thing. I mean, see how thick that thing is? Lockup is great too, by the way. It is chunky. And it's got, the patented Hinder over travel. What else about it? It's a big chunk of titanium on this side. It's got the G10 that doesn't feel super grippy this way, but I noticed going this way it's more grippy. So, rolling out of your hand, it's definitely grippier. I love it because it's got the four corners, so I can carry it left-handed. Very smooth deployment, flicks right out. Nice shape and size and weight. It's a 3.5-inch blade, which to me is kind of like my normal size blade. I like a 3.5-inch blade. Anywhere between 3.5 and 4 is kind of my size blade. I have smaller blades, but I tend to not really want them for EDC. And even with this, I'm still, carrying the Dragonfly as my kind of daily cutter. So I'm using this to actually cut with, and this is kind of just reserved for playing around and I guess social work. But I really love the knife. It carries well. It's not too heavy to me. It doesn't overwhelm the weight of your pocket. Carries pretty low. I mean, if you look here at the pocket clip, that's a pretty low carry to me. I'm happy with that. Now, being left-handed, when you reach in, your thumb is on this titanium. So it's important. It's important with any knife. When you reach into your pocket, that you actually touch this with your finger, either all the way around or here. It'll actually help draw it out better. Because if you grab the knife here, you're not getting as good of a grip, and that gives you that extra grip, and it'll come right out. A little bit of practice. The first time I went to pull it out, because this was so slick, it kind of bummed me out. but I'm better with it now. Talk about the Elmax steel. This is a European steel, in particular Sweden. It is really not that widely used. I did some research on some message boards. When you look at most knife companies, take Spyderco, either deals with Japanese or American steels. I'm not biased to steel as long as it's good. From what I've read, this is a very good steel. You know, it's one of those exotic high-end steels. I think you're, no pun intended, splitting hairs when you get between Super Steel A and Super Steel B and Super Steel C, and then, you know, 154 cm and S30V suddenly seem like average steels. They're all great steels. I tend to prefer S30V and 154 cm. Those are my, and VG10. Those are my favorite steels, but I'm okay with other weird steels. I kind of wonder, I'm thinking that this steel might actually be something they developed after recovering like a crashed UFO or something. You never know, right? I mean, that's probably how most of these steels are getting developed, is they're just figuring out how these crashed UFOs are constructed and what their metals are, and we're just taking whatever we got on this planet and coming up with a close example of it. So this is probably from designed after a crashed spaceship in up there in Sweden. But I love it. I love the steel. It's a nice stone wash. I don't know if you can see that really well. Let me get this to focus. Maybe if I bring it up, you can see the stone wash on that. It's nice. That beautiful edge John put on me for me. It's a great knife. It really is. I'm real happy with it. I've been carrying it for 2 days now since I got it back from John, and I love it. I flick it out all day long and have a great time with it. So it's every time flicks out great. Lockup has been great. It's really early, no movement, nothing. Just a beautiful knife. I'm really happy with it. It's definitely going to be a heavy rotation in my EDC. Tomorrow I think I'm going to carry my Benchmade 710 just because I had John sharpen that and I missed it so much. I just love that knife. It's just the sexiest fucking knife, period, man. If you don't own a Benchmade 710, you're crazy. I think this is one of the best knives. But back to this. This is a great knife. Again, I like it better than the 350 because the 350 is kind of fat and short, and it makes the handle really fat, and when you reach into your pocket with the knife clipped, it's just harder to get past it. It's much thinner, the handle and all that. I should have brought it out here to compare it, but it's thinner. It's a great knife. I like the 350. It's got a nice recurve. It's a really fat blade. Definitely a fun blade. I like it, but this I like a lot more. I mean, this is hands down my favorite zero tolerance. I'm waiting for the 560 to come out, the flipper with the bearing system. I've got one of those on pre-order, and I'm super stoked to get one of those because it's a 3.75 inch blade. But anyway, this is my little thoughts on the clip is great, holds really well. Like I said, after the unusually dull blade, which I complained to Zero Tolerance, they were surprised. It's a great knife, and I'm really happy that I got it, and it's definitely going to be a heavy rotation on the EDC front. Thanks for watching. Bye.